Got a little test bench set up here. That's just going to be an oil pump, factory oil pump out of one of our small block Dodge engines. On this side over here, I got the piping and housings for a couple of filters. We're going to pull the fluid out into the draw tube, into the pump, and then that comes out here. That's going to come out. Then it goes into our filter housings here. We've got 2 of them. And then once it goes into both those filter housings, it comes out the other side. Here's the other side where that is coming out of the filter housing, and then it's going to be our return hose here. And lastly, we're just going to run that with the drill. I built this setup here to test these check valves that we're planning on putting in the oil pan there. This check valve, because it's the draw tube, it's going to operate with the ball at the bottom here, and then when the pump creates the pressure, it's going to pull that ball up, and then the fluid gets drawn up through the hose into the pump. This one here is going to be the return, so then that ball is going to be the opposite. The ball is going to be on this side here, so when the oil pushes against the ball, opening up the check, and then it flows back into our bucket here. Now with the drill running the pump, we can see it flowing out our return here back into the bucket. And that seems to be the maximum flow rate right there as we've tested it. Here's the plans for a homemade check valve system that we're building, and the reason I'm building this is that I want to have 2 connections in the oil pan so that I can pull the oil out, filter it, and put it back in. The check valve will make sure that the oil stays in the pan and doesn't leak out the fittings when we're making those connections. Now when I look at a location for these connections, I'm thinking this is a good spot here. Pull the oil out of here and we pump it back in right there. And that's going to be opposite of where the oil pickup tube is on this side, so it doesn't interfere with that. I just grabbed some material and started working with it, and these are the dimensions. The length is 1.350, the diameter is 0.850, and then what we did on the left side was we took a 1/2-inch tap drill and we drilled that into a depth of 0.750. Then we follow that up with a 1/4 pipe thread tap, and then we can accept our fitting on that side. On the other side, we used a 23/64 tap drill, and we drilled to a depth of 0.400, and then we followed that up with a 1/8 pipe thread tap there. Our check ball is a 0.310. The space in between, we drilled out to 3/16. On the right side, when we tap that out for 1/8 pipe thread, that is to accommodate our pressure regulator. So this pressure regulator with the nipple will connect onto our system, and now we can find out at what pressure our check valve is opening, and we can also adjust that by the length of the spring. Having said that, I found out during our testing phase that the suction needs more pressure than the discharge. When we were testing our check valves after we built them, I made this test piece here, and this is just a check valve off Amazon. I put that on there for the discharge and found that it wasn't pumping because the pressure on that valve is too high. So I removed that, and then I just made this piece here, and that's just a fitting coupler nipple. In that one, there's no restriction and full flow. But once we get our full flow, then I'm going to adjust the check valve to accommodate to match that. So we want a smaller spring so that it'll open up and it'll give us that full flow. On the suction side, we find that it wants a large spring and it wants that tension there. If you try to put the small spring in on the suction side, it didn't really want to work properly. We got a longer spring on the suction side, and we got the small spring on the discharge side. And all I did was I just took that spring, cut it in half, and it seemed to work fine. The configuration of the check ball is going to be accommodated with the flow. So in this case here, if the ball is seated up against there, the flow is coming here, unseats the ball, goes around the ball, and continues to go out the fitting here. Now that would be the discharge. If we had the ball and spring opposite, where the ball is there and the spring is on this side, then this is the suction, and it's pulling the oil in, unseats the ball, and then it continues to flow around through to the other side. Having said that, I had to bore out my fitting just a little bit to accept that check ball and have enough clearance around the ball for our oil flow. The assembly will be, you take your ball and you choose what side it's going to go on. So it's going to go in there, and then the spring opposite that, and then we assemble it together. We will have this fitting here is going to be welded into the oil pan, and I plan on welding it on both sides. I'll kind of center it in the pan or decide how much I want sticking out on the exterior of the pan. When I was constructing these, I just used the same material, made these buttons here. So all I did again was I just drilled that out with the 23/64 tap drill, and then I used a 1/8 natural pipe thread tap and created these little buttons here. This is going to get welded onto the pan as well, and then here's our temperature sensor. Now we can check out what the temperature of the oil is. And when we're doing that, we want to make sure that we assemble it properly. The sensor will be assembled into the button so it gets welded correctly onto the pan and not backwards. I built these when I was building the check valve there, but you don't need to do that. All you need to do is go down to the hardware store and you get yourself a reducer like this, and it's the same difference. Drill your hole, weld this into the side of the pan, and then your fitting will just simply thread in there. What you're gonna have to do is drill the center out so the sensor will fit in. And also too, you might want to remove some material on the end so you have more of your sensor sticking out to read the temperature. When I look at a location for the temperature sensors, I'm thinking right here's going to be a good spot. It's lower down in the pan, and this is kind of tapered, angled. That might help with our connection point.